Yes, people, what's going on? Seagull Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Today, we got a wonderful panel for you. I got my boy Deo in the building, all the way from the United States. And I got my boy up north in Manchester. You already know who it is. Gunner Souls in the building. But before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. Let me know how you guys are feeling. I'm a little bit annoyed. The amount of injuries Arsenal are having right now. We well and truly have an injury crisis, and we need to discuss it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about each player. We're going to talk about what we're going to be doing, how we're going to deal with it. We're going to give you our lineup for the upcoming game versus Tottenham and just discuss a little bit about how we weather the storm going forward. But before we go any further, please do like the video. Let us know how you guys are feeling. Put your W's in the chat for anybody who's watching right now. And of course, don't forget to check out today's title sponsor, none other than OK Jersey. And in case you guys haven't forgot, we're still doing this 8% off. You can get yourself some nice kits for under the price of £20. You can get some wonderful kits. So go and do it. I've done it myself, and I'm telling you guys, they're nice quality. But yeah, where do we begin, boys? Do we begin with Gabriel Magalhães? The news with Gabriel Magalhães. That's where we begin, right?
We can do, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's begin from the top. Gabriel Magalhães, the other day, Brazil was playing at the Emirates versus Senegal, and he left the game and he sustained an injury. Immediately after sustaining the injury, people said that this was going to be a bad one. They said this is going to be something he's going to be out for a little while. The way that he was walking off, the way that he was grimacing while he was walking, you could tell it was just, they're saying it's a thigh injury. Some people are saying an abductor injury. I don't know the difference. One thing I do know is he's going to be out for a month, and David Onstein reported this earlier today. If I can just go and find that, here it is. Samuel McBell said early fears that Gabriel will miss minimal 4 weeks, and sources are indicating an absence that could stretch to January. The extent, basically a thigh injury, and the timescale of the recovery will be finalized in the coming days. We don't know yet. It's not finalized. And then David Onstein comes out with the bomba and says that, let me go and show you guys. He says that Arsenal continue to assess Gabriel. Aimed concerns the 27-year-old will miss 1 to 2 months, and through injury sustained on the international duty, indicating that the Arsenal center forwards set for a spell out, but test ongoing. So that last bit, test ongoing, kind of gives you hope that he could be back sooner than later. But the injury list is piling up.
The injury list is piling up, but I also like the timeline. I won't lie to you. It's happened. I like to look on the bright side. You know me, no matter what the negative thing is, because it's happened. There's no fixing this right now, right? It's not like Gabriel can come back next week. We know this, right? So that's a given. But if he's going to be back in January, this is where we need all the firepower. I believe that Hincapie can cover for the next, international break is over. We have three games before we go into January. 3-4 games. I believe that they we're not doing the Boxing Day games again this year, if I'm not mistaken. The FA
it's under review at the moment.
It's under review, yeah. So if that happens, we might play maybe 4 games. But I think Hincapie, Calafiori, these are people that can step into that role. Miles Lewis Kelly can come into left back. I can bring Calafiori into left center back with Saliba. Hincapie can come in there over the next few games. I'm glad that we were able to do those type of businesses in the summer, because if we don't have players like that, we saw Jacob Kiwior last season. He stepped up. He stepped in and stepped up. Let's be honest. Kiwior stepped up last season.
Now we have 2 Kiwiors.
So now we have 2 Kiwiors. So I just think that we have a squad that can still get something done defensively. Because the reason I trust our defense is we fielded a whole new defense in the EFL Cup, in the Carabao Cup, that had never played together, and we still did not concede a goal. And they looked good. So I think that we have players that can fill his role for the time being. Then when he comes back in January, well rested, well fit enough, that January to March run, where we need a bunch of just like, we need people to be on fire, where they're not tired. Because again, if this this might be a blessing in disguise. If this didn't happen, he plays all the way to January and gets injured in January and has to be out for 2 months. He'll be out February, March. By the time he comes back, the league is done. You know, right now we're 4 points ahead, and we can still maintain, you know, a 3.4 point lead, 3.4 point lead if we play the way we've been playing and better. And by January, when we have everybody, you know, everybody back, then, you know, hey, it's not the first time. I mean, this season, I'm glad that we have players, you know, we have players. And I know a lot of people will start saying a lot of really dumb stuff as regards to like, oh, you guys are going to make excuses. Gabriel's injured. He's a key player. Like, if you look at every team, if a key player gets injured, of course, teams will actually feel a certain way about it.
You know what? I'm not even focused on people who talk silly. If you talk silly, I'm just going to ignore it. When it comes to Gabriel's season over, no, he's not. No, he's not. The season's just beginning. I think Arsenal will still beat Chelsea and Tottenham without Gabriel. My question to you guys is, do you guys agree? Let me know in the chat. Yes or no, do you guys agree with that? But Souls, what you saying, man? Sorry, Dayo, to cut you off. But let's just keep the conversation moving.
Yeah, I mean, look, yes, we're losing leadership, and obviously that's a quality that we do possess a lot of. A lot of players can step up and actually become leaders in the team. We've got Declan Rice, we've got, you know, even Saka takes on that role quite well. Martin Ødegaard's returning. We've got, you know, even Raya to some degree has kind of taken that on board as well. So we have got it in an abundance, but of course, like when you're talking about defensive leadership, Gabriel's clearly the vocal person, and that's the part that we're going to miss. The quality isn't what I necessarily will sit there and go, do you know what, I'm panicking over. But I think we've got more than enough in the squad to kind of overcome this. And that's why we built what we did. Because you can't, and the thing is, I've seen it even online where a lot of people are starting to panic and a lot of people are making excuses that this is where we start to drop points because of an injury like this. But then you can't rate the summer window. You can't rate what we've built, because you can't have it both ways. You can't go start being scared after one injury or a few injuries that have happened. You know, Hincapie, for example, is a brilliant player. Whether you want to play him centre-back, whether you bring Calafiori centre-back and play him left-back, whether they rotate within the game, whatever the situation is, we're more than capable of handling it. We've had this before. You know, if someone like Kiwior, like, not to disrespect Kiwior, but Kiwior isn't exactly a world beater coming into the team. You know, he was someone who's got potential, who a lot of people saw a lot of qualities in, but he wasn't exactly like this established player. Whereas now we've got Calafiori, who you can call established as an Italian, you know, international. Then you've got Ecuadorian international in Piero Hincapie. You can either put Lewis Skelly there and kind of change the dynamics a little bit, and obviously bring one of them two to centre back. Whatever you want to do, you can do. And that's kind of where the beauty of this squad is, especially defensively. Yes, we lose a little element of certain things, and we'll see if a Saliba, we'll see if a Hincapie or a Calafiori or someone else in that defensive line can step up and become that leader. Well, that will be time will tell kind of situation. But I believe in Arteta. Defensively, I've never had a concern. I've said we can have the injuries that we need, but not that I wish injuries on our players, but, you know, we can have those injuries and still be comfortable. Look at it. Saliba got injured, and at Anfield, at Liverpool, Mosquera for his first ever game, and look at how he performed. It wasn't his fault we lost the game. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. We've had these young new players come in, vital players, and come in as if nothing's happened. I remember me and Igal having this conversation and going, it's not that I don't miss Saliba, I've just not noticed he's been missing. And that's kind of credit
that's
to
a good thing. That's a good thing. It's the system. I mean, Gunnar Souls, you're right. You see, when the system works, you can slot anything into it and it should work. But like you said, what I will miss, the same thing you're going to miss, is that leadership from Gabriel. Everything else, if you're talking about, okay, players, because I define Arsenal now as not a defensive team, but a team that knows how to defend. That's how I define them. Yeah. We're not a defensive team, because half the time we're camped in your 18-yard box. Half the time we're peppering we're getting more touches in the opposition's box. So we're definitely not a defensive team. We don't play a low block. We don't play a mid block. We don't play counter-attack football. We actually just play suffocate them football, which means that, generally we're just a team that knows how to defend. And that was very clear when in the 94th minute, 7-8 players are tracking back at the same time. Not just the defenders, not just the defensive midfielders. attacking players are tracking back to defend a counter attack. That's, for me, is what makes our defense solid. So putting Hincapie in there, players will play for him. Arsenal players play for themselves. And I think defensively we'll be okay. I just know that the next few games are going to be a tough one. We can get through those games. Let's get through those tough games. I mean, we had Jacob Kiwior against Real Madrid last season. What are we doing here? Let's be honest about it.
It could be worse. Yeah.
I know. Again, it's the system. The system works. So the player actually knows, I just need to do my bit and everything else will work around me. I'm not taking anything away from the teams that are going to play. But if we do what we need to do, we can get through these games. And come January, Gabriel comes back. We need him. And you must remember this. I say this. The players that joined us in the summer, knowing that we had Saliba and Gabriel, knew that they would not be able to get first team games as much as get Saliba and Gabriel, but trusted and believed in themselves enough to come to Arsenal to say, look, I can prove a point. Hincapie, Mosquera, they have a point to prove. They're not just, as you can see, the quality that they bring, they're not just, you can't just look at them as bench players. If you give Hincapie and Mosquera to Chelsea challenges for the title this season. If you give them those two in their centre back, they challenge for the title this season. That's how good they are. So I'm not really worried. I think it's again, we can bring in Miles Lewis Skelly to left back, play Calafiori in centre back. These players can do it. They can do it.
When one door opens, another opportunity arises. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Do you trust? I think Hincapie is going to start, to be fair. I don't think it's going to be Mosquera or Calafiori because we have three options in that Gabriel position.
Yeah, I think Hincapie would start. Like, again, who would I like to start? I would like to see the person who in training gels with the system that we're going to play against Tottenham, the player who understands what the manager wants in that particular game, because again, it's the system for me. If you fit into that system on that day and you get it done, you get it done. I don't see any major quality difference between Hincapie and Mosquera. I think both of them have very good quality players, and I think any one of them can step in there. Calafiori, we know what he's capable of doing. I would not want to change what Calafiori does for the team, being that madman that we don't know exactly where he's going to pop up. I wouldn't want to stifle him and put him in center back and say, sit down there, and play back three when we're attacking. I wouldn't want to do that. So for me, I think what I would do is bring in an Hincapie, keep Calafiori on left back, and let's see. And if after 45 minutes in the first game, Hincapie looks like he's a little shaky, then I'll sacrifice the Calafiori move and then just bring in Miles Lewis Skelly to left back. Now just like Calafiori, you move into center back. Miles Lewis Skelly, Calafiori, sadly, you're going to have to play the next few games in that position. Yeah, we won't have the madness, but we will have control.
Souls, what are you saying?
I mean, it's a difficult one to answer because we've seen many varieties of the defense, especially when it comes to in-game management. We've seen Hincapie come on and we've turned into a back three. We've seen, Calafiori come into that position and Miles Lewis Skelly come on as well. So it is a difficult one. I think it kind of just depends on how Arteta views Tottenham's threat and what he sees for the next 1 to 2 months. What is the best outcome? Because whoever comes in is arguably going to be now the new starting four for any games coming up, whether that's Bayern Munich, the Chelsea game, and any other games that we have coming up. So it all comes down to what Arteta feels is the best prepared for the next few games. And I think, Calafiori doing what he's doing, and he's been on magnificent form, especially this season. We can't really change that. So the best thing to do is get a suitable replacement to just come inside, which is Hincapie coming in for Gabriel. Keep everything else the same. That's one change. There's no point of over engineering a solution where you're changing and mixing everything up, and then that throws the balance of the entire team up, because now Calafiori is going to have to get used to just sitting back in the system and not being the guy who bombards forward, because sometimes muscle memory kicks in and people expect certain things to happen. And especially in these sort of games, you keep it simple. You just do the change that's necessary, not the changes that don't need to happen.
Can I play devil's advocate there? What if Calafiori is only functional because Gabriel is there? Like, we trust, like they've done this so much that right now at this point it's like, I would still, as a manager, would you then say I would still sacrifice the Calafiori move because I don't have the Gabriel? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that person that works very well with him whenever he goes forward. Even though Hincapie might be able to do a job, Hincapie has a different type of skill set, very quality. Maybe the problem would be, hey, even though I don't want to over-engineer it, I would rather not risk having Calafiori all the way up front when I don't have a Gabriel and it's Hincapie that is there. There might be a different system that works with Hincapie and Calafiori. Maybe Calafiori inverting more into the midfield instead of going forward, because Hincapie might need more help, type thing. So again, you're right. It's the system, but I just think I think we have enough. Honestly,
I think that's where Zubimendi comes in more than I think Gabriel being out, because for me, the way that Zubimendi has been recovering, especially in the midfield, in terms of just anticipating the moves that are happening and not even allowing our defense to really have to do anything, I think that's where we can then utilize his strengths even more. We can amplify his strengths and go, do you know what? We're going to make you recover more and come deeper, rather than playing this pseudo 10 role that he kind of sometimes finds himself in. We kind of sacrifice Zubimendi to be a deeper player and allow the rest of them to attack. Or just
even sacrifice Declan Rice and Zubimendi to play at the double pivot in front of the defense. That would actually help protect Hincapie since he's just coming. And let Calafiori do the madness that he does.
The thing is, though, even though we're losing elements of Gabriel, I do think where this could be a benefit is Hincapie's recovery ability, because one of the things that he's rapid. His acceleration to catch players, even if he does make a mistake, he can recover really well. Now you've got two recovering beasts, like in terms of Saliba can recover, he can catch anyone on his day, so can Hincapie. So I don't know. I think he is going to have to do something different, but I just don't know what's going to quite work in what game.
We're also going to miss Gabriel Magalhães' set piece threat. He has been directly involved in over 21 goals for Arsenal.
I'm gonna say something controversial. I don't think we will.
Really? You don't think Gabriel Magalhães is so good at winning that first ball?
Let me. It's again, this is where you guys have literally, and I don't know how we haven't seen this over the last 3 seasons. Even in games last season where we didn't have Gabriel in it, and we played set pieces and we scored them, where we had what's his name, Timber being the one receiving the first ball, actually getting the first ball. We've had rotations where we've brought in Trossard to get the first ball right across back. Trossard has gotten the ball right across the goal line at least 6-7 times between last season and now. Again, I think we don't realize that it's a system, and the only reason Gabriel, and I give him kudos for it, attacks the ball the way he attacks it, it's vicious. So you see it and you know it. The way the other players do it is not as vicious, but it's a system. It's a system that if you go look at all our set pieces, it's all based on sleight of hand. Now you see it, now you don't create the space. This is the player that needs to be there. And that's and again, I don't think that.
So who's going to be the threat now that he's?
We don't know who they've been doing in training. Just the same way you have a captain, a vice captain. Oh, if Declan, I said Declan, if Ødegaard is not there, give it to Saka. If Saka is not there, give it to Gabriel. They already know the hierarchy. So I'm sure there's players in the squad. If Gabriel is not the one taking it, this is who's next. This is who's next. The only reason you depend on Gabriel is, again, he's created a reputation. So whenever there's a set piece, teams want to mark him out, which allows other players to be free. So right now, they will not know who to mark out until
if the question is, will Gabriel Magalhães' set piece threat be missed? You're saying no.
So. I don't think so.
But my question to you then is, who fills his void?
Right. This is the way I'll answer.
That's what I'm saying. You see, Igal, you're asking for who. Like you're missing my whole explanation of it's a system. The only reason Gabriel is the man there is because originally in the first system, you play this role, you play this role.
So you're saying it's like an inbound pass in basketball.
I am saying exactly. Eventually, you're going to. I'm sure you have players that have been training, not just Gabriel. There is no club that will depend solely on one center back because he's good at winning headers to be the only person for the entire season. That would be ridiculous. If Gabriel is the only one that can do what he does in that system of set piece for us, we need to fire Mikel Arteta today, because that is what you must at least have 2, 3, 4 players who there's a hierarchy for it. So if one is not there, the next person will be there. If one, we saw this same system in the preseason, and guess who was the person who won the first ball and who scored the second ball? Guess who scored the second ball? What's his name from Brentford that we just brought in?
Ødegaard.
Norgard scored his first goal in preseason from that same set piece thing that we did, and Gabriel was not involved. So
the way I'll answer it is, look, you're going to utilize your biggest threat, which is Gabriel. That's why when he's in the squad, you're going to use him, because no matter what you try and do, he finds a way to score. But that doesn't mean he's the only one. That just means he's the best at doing it. So you're going to stack the odds in your favor. You're never going to do it where, okay, well, let's get Timber to do it, but he's going to give you a 20% chance that he's going to score. Whereas if Gabriel is going to give you a 90% chance that this set piece will go in, you're going to keep doing it because you know he can get you results. But that doesn't then mean if you were to then substitute him for another player, that another player can't do it. Now, if you're asking for a name, there's many names. Gyökeres can do it. Gyökeres has shown that he can be that aggressive, and he can be a bit more of a bully. He can kind of come in and step in and
he
do
can
that.
win the first ball.
Yeah, Timber's shown it. Like he's also scored. And guess who else? Who's just
Saliba. We've quietly forgotten about Saliba.
Saliba's another one. But another one that I was going to say that's, we know for his attacking prowess is Calafiori. Calafiori is just as tall and aggressive when it comes to box and crashing as well.
Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino is another player that we know.
There's plenty of ways. But also what I think people need to understand is just because we score the set pieces the way we do with Gabriel doesn't mean that's the only way we know how to score them. We've shown a variety of different ways of scoring corners. We've shown different ways where we knock it back into the post. We've seen, Ben White's antics. We've seen many different ways. And every time we get exposed, we find another way. So we have to trust that Nikola Jova is going to find a solution, even if that is to be our threat. But even if not, we start open play goals. It's not like we can't score. I don't know where the panic and the, oh my God, that's it. Like, we're going to get found out because of an injury. I just think all this is going to do is start revealing the strength of the squad.
Again, if you remember, let me say this real quick. Last season, one of the things that cost us games, we played, we drew 14 games. 6 of those games we drew from a winning position, and in those 6 games we played with 10 men, red cards. Discipline was an issue for us last season. Depth was an issue. Mikel Merino was our striker towards the end of the season. That is ridiculous. This season, injury or not, we actually have players that can step in and step up. We might need to maybe sacrifice set pieces for the next 4 games. Why not? I'm playing our different style just to win. It's doable. So, again, the idea, and again, I think people have forgotten that this set piece, the real key is actually Saka and Declan Rice. It is actually the takers and where they drop the ball.
Big up Tony, man. Tony, send me a message. I'll add you on the stream. Send me a message. But before we go any further, please do hit that like button, guys. We have over 75 of you guys in the building. Please do hit that like button. It helps out the channel massively. And of course, don't forget to check out today's title sponsor. The link is in the description for them. But next, we have to talk about a certain Viktor Gyokeres, ladies and gentlemen. Boys, Viktor Gyokeres also got a setback and reportedly could be missing this game, but also could make the game. Do you think this is mind games? Are you guys concerned? In my eyes, he didn't play the whole international break. He's rested up. He should be ready to go. They were saying that he was out for precautionary reasons the past couple of games, and he still remains in injury doubt now for the game versus Tottenham. How you guys feeling?
If there's a doubt, don't play him. We can win without him for now. If there's a doubt, I want him to be 100% before you bring him back. Let's not do this. We have the depth, right? If there's anybody who I think you should even risk playing right now that is back from injury, he's been training as well for longer than, because you have to look at what the injury is. We don't know what it is. And even if it's precautionary, it might be because you might need 1 week more of rest so that your muscles are right, so that you don't come and tear something, right? Because if you tear something now you're out for 6 weeks.
Big up courage, man.
Yeah, but if you're taking 1 week off just to rest enough, if you do that, then at the end of the day, you can come back and the risk of you tearing the muscle is way less, So I don't mind if he doesn't play in this game. We've already missed him in a couple of games and we found ways to win those games. So why can't we do that for one more game, just one more game, and get so that he's totally, ready? Again, this is what we did with Saka, where we brought him back too quickly and we saw what the outcome was. You might be good in the game, the next game again, you hurt yourself. So I'm of the school of thought. We have the squad depth. We have players that have come back now as well from injury. I understand Noni is back training. I understand that Havertz is back training as well. If you need to risk it, let him rest.
Havertz has had a setback.
He's had a
We're
setback.
gonna talk about it. Don't jump the gun. Yeah, don't jump the gun.
No. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, because he said Havertz is available. I was like, no. Like,
I mean, maybe not available. I'm saying that, like, even if you want to take a risk, I would take a risk with those players over taking a risk with him. Because again, if he's out for longer, if Gyökeres is out for longer, then we suffer more, right? Yeah. So we've
Eddie, you've been watching too much of somebody's content, calling him 29. He has a name. He has a name. But bringing it back quickly. Current, in case you don't know what we're talking about, we're currently speaking about Viktor Gyokeres. I'm not going to lie to you guys. If Gabriel is out injured, plus we have all the other players that we have out injured in the attack, if Viktor Gyokeres can start and he can make it, I would be very happy with that, because we need more attacking depth. With a lot of the injuries in the attack, Viktor Gyokeres being back would help us out a lot.
It would. But again, let me ask you this question, though. Do you think we can win without Gyökeres?
I believe we can win against Tottenham
without
Gyökeres.
Okay, so would you rather risk?
Listen to me. It does get to a point where we need to start getting some of our attacker options back, because I'm looking at the bench and it's not as.
No.
Let me finish my question.
We do have a lot of attackers coming back, though.
I know. But look at it this way. Let's go through it.
Madueke is back.
Madueke is not back.
He's back. He's training. He's been training for about a week.
This is my question to you.
This is what it officially says. This says Gabriel is going to be out till early December. It says Jesus is going to be out till mid-December. Early December for Martinelli. Early December for Kai Havertz. It's saying Martin Ødegaard should be back now. It's saying Noni Madueke is going to be still another couple weeks until early December, and Calafiori is doubtful, but he should be okay.
Yeah, but this is from FootMob, right? Like, again, you can go to FootMob, and FootMob hasn't updated what they've had there for the last 4, 5 days, 6 days. Like, my thing is this. My question to you is this: I hear you that Gyökeres will give us, another way of scoring, another option. But if I can win a game without Gyökeres and give Gyökeres one more week of rest, and that one more week of rest puts him back at 100% of performances, I would rather that than bring him in at 80% right now and drain him back down to 60 by him getting hurt or something getting worse than what needs. Because again, it's like, I don't know if you've ever been hurt physically and they tell you, okay, when your cast comes off, still don't do anything crazy for the next 4 weeks because the bone needs to do a certain thing, and then you can then start, doing normal stuff. In those 4 weeks, if you go crazy, you could break your arm again. So my point is, if I have to give Gyökeres one more week of rest, and I know that I can find a different way of winning this next game, I'll do that instead, because I need Gyökeres in my running. I need him to be fit in January, February, March, April. I need him. I don't need him to be out for 6 weeks come December the 26th, and we don't have him till the end of February. I can't. That don't make no sense. That's why I said if I was going to risk a player, I'd risk Kai Havertz. He's back from injury, but now he's got a set, whatever it is. But I would have risked somebody else if I was going to do it. But again, I think we have enough to be able to go into that game, and win that game. We have enough in the team, going forward. I think if you wanted to play even Leandro Trossard as a 9 and play Eze on the left and play Saka on the right, you could do that. Play Declan as there's options. If Noni is back, great stuff again.
Let me hear from the rest of the boys. What are you guys saying? With all the players coming back injured, what do you guys think? Because I'm thinking hopefully Gyökeres is available, or are we just saying at this point, this is why we have this big squad, we shouldn't be worried whatever happens?
Do you want to go? You go. I'll go after.
No, go, Corin. You go.
You go, Corin. You haven't said much.
So, with these injuries, it's annoying. It's annoying. That's the main thing. I think it's annoying that we can't get everyone fit. And as I said to a lot of people, either on X or here or wherever, the amount of time we've put these guys through without rotating them, without doing this for maybe 3 years now, you're going to have to reap the rewards that you've sowed over the last few years. It's never going to be a case where you can just say, okay, we can play every players for 3,000, 4,000 minutes and go, okay, yeah, that's absolutely normal for 3 seasons. And I was warning people about this when we had the Gabriel Jesus injury in 22-23. I was like, we can't just keep running people into the ground and then expecting them. Why are we not having some form of, we have a squad, use the squad, but no one was on it because everyone thought, oh, we're doing okay, so what's the issue? And then every season when it comes to April, May, there's key players out. And it's not a case where the issue is that now is the problem. Now is not the problem, especially with Gabriel. Gabriel, we have 3 different centre-backs to put into Gabriel's place. Gabriel is the best, and he's going to be a threat in both boxes, which is very, very helpful. But the fact of the matter is we have players that can, add efficiency in both boxes that can help. But the issue is that is he going to be available for a Real Madrid away in the next calendar year, which he wasn't last year? Are we going to have players out for that? Are we going to have a season where we go into a Champions League semi-final with no strikers? That's the issue. The issue isn't now. The now it's annoying, and these are some big games as well. Tottenham, Chelsea, Bayern. It's super, super annoying to not have them here. The issue is not now. Now is not the issue. The issue is, can we maintain a level for 38 games? And if we can, we'll win something. If we can't, then we have to have an inquisition about why can we not maintain these levels? Do we need to start moving people on that can't maintain their levels for 38 games or even be around for 38 games? Is there have to be some harsh conversations. But at this moment in time, the issue is that who is going to be able to maintain the line that we create? And we have the defenders to maintain the line that we create. We have guys that can defend when balls are over their head. So that's not the issue. The issue is, can we actually attack now? Because we're still not getting back the guys. We don't have the boys back.
But you don't think that we scored the 3rd most goals and we've not had our out and out all out attack. Again, this is why I say that for me, like, there will be a point in the season where you're going to have all your players available to you, and at that point we'll see what we can do with them. But at the same time, what makes the difference for me is if you don't have everybody, what you do with what you have and how you make it work. That's where I give kudos, because I look, as someone who's done some type of sport before, which was judo. There's certain fights you go into where you're just like, I'm not fit, I can't knock this guy out, I'm not going to get any pawn, but I can score like 2, 3 points, 5 points, and just try and run down the time. Maybe get 1 penalty and just figure out how I can win this game. So my thing is, that's what I expect from my team and my manager. I don't expect that we will always have.
No, I'm not saying we should go into this.
No, not you. I'm not saying that you expect that. I'm just saying, that's my take.
No. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not. Why I'm a bit more cautious about this. About this next couple of games is we've done this whole let's grind it out for about 2 months now, and these are big games. You need players that can make a difference, and that's why I'm like, we should be able to do this, and I expect that there's no excuses to not do it, but I'm a bit cautious because we've been grinding it out for so long now, and that draw before the international break, can we come in now and really make a statement? Can we do that? I fully expect we can, especially at home.
A statement is 3 points for me. Again, this is what I'm saying. Same. I mean, this is what I'm saying for me. Like, so again, I think I'm done with the whole, I need a player that can make a statement. I need a team that plays for each other and that goes out there and gets me 3 points. A team, simple. And I saw that in Arsenal when in 94th minute, all the players were running backwards. I saw that in Mikel Merino last season where we brought him in and said, come and be a striker. And he reshaped his intelligence and the way he played as a midfielder to actually be a striker that scored way more goals than we thought he would ever be capable of scoring. This is what I require of the players, like as a team. The idea that Gyökeres makes a full-on difference for us I believe that if you have a squad where even if one player drops off, you're not dropping off. Your squad level is not dropping off totally.
Let me say this.
That's key for me. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that that's what you're saying. I'm saying a key thing for me is having a team where if one player drops off, it doesn't drastically change my entire system. It's just a case of okay, put somebody else in there.
Though, is it? It's like 6.
It's several, yeah.
But again, it's the system. All you need to do is slot in the next person. Right?
Bro, we're out. We're down two starting attacks. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
we're down. I think 5 attackers and a defender now. If I'm not mistaken,
and 1 midfielder if Ødegaard's not back.
Or 4 attackers, 1 midfielder, and 1 defender. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
In perspective, though, with Gyökeres out, Havertz out, and Jesus out, Mikel Moreno's done a decent job. Fair play to him. I'm looking at the team, and I'm saying to myself, the team that played against Sunderland. If I put it up for you guys, big up Tony in the building. If I just put up this team, what changes are we really going to have to make? Just one change, really. The team that played against Sunderland, we're only really making one change to that team due to the fact that we still don't know if Gyökeres is 100% back and nobody else is back yet. But
yeah, hence why I said it's a system. Like the system works, you just slot the next person in, get 3 points in that game. This idea, there's a narrative that is out there, and it's from the media, literally. You know, everybody's expecting Arsenal to just always go out and just. I don't care about that anymore. I don't care about the individual magnificence of Zubimendi. I don't care how great Rice wants to run up and down the pitch. If you don't get 3 points, it means nothing. Do you understand? Like
let me just stop. Everybody here agree. If we go into the Tottenham game, this is probably going to be the team if nobody else comes available.
It'll probably be Mosquera. The way he's set up in the past, it'll probably be Mosquera.
You think so? Just because he hasn't had many games with Hincapie. You know what? It makes more sense to play Hincapie versus Bayern. He's familiar.
No. The way we set up is Mosquera is first choice rotation for either centre back. Hincapie can come in, yes, but I don't.
The only reason that happened this season, Hincapie has been injured since he joined us. So Hincapie was for sure. So he wasn't available, which is why Mosquera did it. But I think that he's going to start Hincapie. Hincapie plays in that position naturally. I think because he wasn't available at the beginning of the season due to injury.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So maybe I'd like it too. Personally,
is Hincapie not left-footed?
Yeah.
Hincapie is left-footed.
So
Hincapie is naturally left-footed, even for the Ecuadorial team. Yeah, he plays on the left side, so he's a natural left-sided player. Yeah, but the thing there is does make a lot better. Trust him enough to actually bring him into this game.
What is this trusting? Let's stop this thing. We do this conversation all the time. I don't like hearing it anymore. I don't
think we have trust issues with anyone in this team.
There's no trust issue with any players on the squad. Just because the player doesn't get a chance to play anymore, it's because there's a system put in place for that particular game. The fact that Miles Lewis-Skelly is not getting time does not mean he's not trusted. Like, this is the narrative that we put out there as fans, and then rival fans take it and say, yeah, it's true. Your manager doesn't trust. There's no such thing. Again, you cannot play 26 players. You can only play the 11 that are going to be on the pitch. At the end of the day, the case is, if he's not trusted, why was he played as soon as he got back from injury? Why is it that as soon as he got back from injury, he's already got a run of games? And this is, he joined Arsenal, he got injured, he's not been able to play any games. He was out for weeks. He comes back. He's played in the EFL Cup. He's played in the Premier League. He's come off the bench to.
Mosquera started versus Liverpool. He played versus Liverpool.
Is that really enough? Is that really enough fitness wise? I mean, with our context, yeah. I mean, let's listen and get to understand the context through which we're talking about. Like, how many string of games has he played back to back for the Arsenal? He hasn't really played.
Do they train?
He hasn't really played. So when I say that Mikel Arteta might not trust him just yet enough, it might be from the fitness level part of it. You do realize. I mean, you've just concluded, and again, fans do this. You just concluded without even listening to my train of thoughts and their context. And there's lots of context to go around. So I mean, you can be able to just listen to the context through Tony's approach and stuff, and then you can make your final.
You do realize that when players come back from injury, right? Senior players, they get to play with the under-23s, under-21s for fitness in the back that we don't follow. I follow this stuff. Do you know how many games Hincapie played with under-21s, under-23s just to get your fitness up while you're still training? You can't use the 38 games in the season as a yardstick to measure fitness for a player. They do way more than that in the background. Hence why you would know to trust the player when he comes back from injury. He's played a bunch of games as well. You've seen his fitness level. The doctors have told you what it is. You're like, you know what? Now I can throw you in the game. 38 games is not what you use as the yardstick.
1 second.
A bunch. How many games? There's no argument in this. It just came back from injury. There's no argument in this. He hasn't played a string of games.
Curran said something I think that's very important at this moment in time. Do you think Arteta looks at it differently from us? It's like Mosquera is first choice backup, Hincapie is second choice backup.
That's the way it's been so far. That's the way it's been so far. I do think there's a point in what Ed was saying in terms of Hincapie has been injured, so you don't know if that is the case where, in fact, he is the left side. Because technically, he came in for Kivior. And Kivior in the past was the left-sided, meant to be the left-sided defender that can play both left centre-back and left-back. That was his role in the squad before. So there is a credence in what Ed was saying in terms of that was what he was brought in for. So why are we doubting role for role in the squad? That is his role. My only thing is I know, we all know Mikel quite well. He's very stubborn. He's not someone that is very malleable to do different things. And if he sees it, until we actually see him change what he does, I don't believe it. So if he's saying right now that I play Mosquera at left centre back and Saliba at right centre back, I'm not going to be surprised. I'll be a little annoyed because I'm thinking your whole build-up is built around having two strong-sided centre backs. Why are you now tinkering with it to get Mosquera in? I would say probably it would be easier to get a Hincapie or maybe even a Calafiori and play Hincapie left back, where you can do things like that, be a bit more malleable. If he decides to do something like that, or Hincapie left back, Calafiori, Hincapie left centre back, Calafiori left back, I'll be happy. But until we see things with him, I don't know if he has the propensity to change. And that is something that I think all of us have said in terms of the past, in terms of even go back to 2023 with the whole Rob Holding, Thomas Partey situation. You can go back to last year with how we've slowly, gradually started to introduce some kind of rotation and getting things to a point where you can actually see some changes. But he's very stubborn. So that's why I'm sort of going to the Mosquera left centre back at the moment.
Bring this into the next discussion, and I think Souls, this is where I'm going to bring you in. What's the solution, guys? What's the solution to avoid these kind of reoccurring injury issues? To me, does that just mean we have to be more used to more chopping and changing within games? We can't expect Eze to start every game, Ødegaard to start every game, Saka to start every game,
anyone to start every game,
to start every game. Martin Ødegaard to start every game, whoever, Timber doesn't start every game. We can't expect these guys to be playing every single game. But at the same time, we also can't expect them to play every big game also. There's going to be some big games that some of these guys are going to get rotated in and out also. Right now, we have 3 big games in a row. There's no way you expect us to play all of the same lineup for all Tottenham, Chelsea, and Bayern. Something's got to give. 2 games a week, every single game. There's going to have to be more rotation. And when these guys all come back in December, there's going to be more injuries. The injuries are going to continue to pile up. I need the whole Arsenal fan base to just stop having favorites and understand this is an 11 for this game, this is an 11 for that game, and it's going to constantly be rotated from now till the end of the season. And I don't think we're going to see consistent week in, week out the same teams when everyone's back.
Like, let's be honest here. This is all just noise. Like, this is it's great to have these discussions, but this is just noise. In terms of what matters is we need to get used to what has happened in modern football. There is no team in the world, in the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, anything. There is no league that isn't suffering with injuries right now because of the load. There's just too many games, and unless you're a PSG or a Bayern where you can just completely rotate your 11 in and out for certain games, you're just going to have to get used to that. And until fans and clubs plan and prepare for what is a very, very daunting Premier League season with a World Cup at the end of it, you're going to pay the price. Look at Liverpool. They have injuries left, right, and centre. They had Leone, they had Isak injured. They've had players come in and out, and it's affected them. So, I mean, I just don't understand why we're surprised. Like every time that something happens, we're acting like, oh, it's just, oh my God, what's the... Like, people are blaming the doctor. Doctors have no
people
impact.
blaming Arteta.
People are blaming Arteta for Gabriel's injury.
Arteta does have some answers to
look, again, you just said it yourself. It's like, again, I don't, because my understanding of what you said is over the last 3 seasons, we've seen FIFA and all these bodies add more and more and more competitions. There's more and more and more games, which will increase the chances of more and more injuries. What do you want managers to do when you start your season and 3 of your strikers are injured already? You will play the ones that you have, right? Because you don't have an option.
I completely agree with what you're saying.
So my point is, we're on the same page. I'm with you. I'm not countering what you're saying.
No. But I'm just trying to expand on what I was trying to say. That's all.
I agree with you. But when people then say it's the doctor's fault or it's the manager's fault, all right, what about the organizers who now have 6, 7, 8 tournaments, have FIFA World Cup in between it, have international games where FIFA says if you don't play because your club says you should not play, you'll be fined. If Gabriel did not play the friendly, then he gets fined. The club gets, like, there's all these different rules that we as fans just choose to ignore and just go on and say, well, we should not have let him play for his country. The World Cup is coming.
The only thing with the Gabriel thing is he was already training alone. That was my thing. He's already training alone, which means he's sort of like on the border. If there was a risk,
but you can't stop him though at this point.
Because I'm saying you can stop him, but the fact is there should have been an agreement. Maybe half time he comes off or something.
Maybe there was. God knows what the agreement could have been.
Maybe it was the case at 60 minutes they were meant to take him off and they got unlucky. We don't
know these things. So my point is, like, I would not still put that blame on Arsenal, because once international break comes, the players are no longer under your jurisdiction unless. So you can no longer tell them. This is the World Cup we're talking about. Gabriel also wants to win the World Cup. So he wants his nation to go through. Of course, they've qualified, but he wants to prove to Ancelotti that I'm still the man. These players have a lot to prove everywhere else, not just to the club, which is crazy to think about. But I just never, and that's why for me, the conversations that I would prefer to have is our manager doing enough with the injuries that we have to win games as individual games? Because every club has injuries. Is this manager?
I completely agree.
Is this manager on a consistent basis finding ways to figure out solutions? Last season, I was really upset that we didn't win. But when I saw what he did with Mikel Merino, I was like, you know what? Kudos to the fact that you figured out this guy could actually play as a striker. Sure. Like, I'm annoyed that we didn't get more out of it. But now that you know this, you now know you can use this guy even when you need to rest your striker. Now you know you can rest the striker and put Mikel Merino there, right? Without injuries. Yes. Like, you play the striker 5 games, let him rest, boom. Yeah.
The one thing I was going to say,
Gunnar Edge, I completely disagree with you in some of the things that you've just said. I'm sorry. I have to come in there, Igal. I'm sorry. Please, when you keep looking for solutions all the time, you would keep looking for solutions. Sometimes you just have to get deep down into the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is that Gabriel has been overworked. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Let's don't lie about this. Virgil van Dijk has played more games than Gabriel in a season. He's played more games than Gabriel. Why is he not injured? Why are our rivals, why are their players coping so well with the same international tournament that you've just referred to, and they're doing quite well? Haaland has played almost every game for the Norwegian national team. Don't cut me. I didn't cut you. I didn't cut you. Erling Haaland has played almost every game for the Norwegian national team. He just got them to the World Cup. He played in the summer, with Chelsea and PSG and all that, a team in the summer. Yeah, and he's scoring on consistent basis. He's a beast in the Premier League. This man has played all game. Why is he not injured? So we can talk about the solutions. And to be very sincere with you, Mikel Arteta has managed the problem sincerely. To be very sincere with you, he's managed that. At least we've gotten wins. We're top of the league, top of the Champions League. But sometimes you just have to ask yourself the question: why are our players dropping like flies? Why did Saka go down early this season?
So why do you think that's
why
the
is
case?
Gabriel off? Saliba was off too. Sometimes you need to look for the causal problems rather than just fixing solutions. Because you keep fixing solutions to the end of the season.
Tony, it's good to ask the questions, but why do you think that's the case?
I just think the manager is really overworking and overloading the players, and I don't really think he has really come in tune with an efficient way of actually rotating the team. I'll give you an example. Against Port Vale, Gabriel had no business being there. I mean, when you have acquired weapons of mass destruction, which is what I call our quality in depth that we do have right now, you have to bring them in. Well, I mean, what is the need of having these toys when you can't play with them? That's when you could bed in Hincapie, give them, Mosquera, use them wholeheartedly, trap the game, and at least rest up these big wigs we have in the team. So right now, yeah, I'm not blaming Arteta for that injury with Gabriel, but in the long run, I mean, we've seen history of players being run to the ground. Look at Ødegaard. Ødegaard, stop. With the Norwegian national team, he comes back, is injured. The manager uses him again. I mean, let the guy heal before you bring him in. So in as much as I don't want to make this an Arteta show, we need to go to the causal effect. And that's we're overloading our players. Even in games that doesn't need to be, really overloaded.
What you're not getting, though, is Ødegaard had 4 different injuries. And they were all impact-related injuries. There was one that was muscular. So even if you want to go and blame the manager for it, you don't get a shoulder bruising and injury because the manager decided to, arm lock you. You got it because he fell. So I think some of the injuries we do overload. That's
the context. That's the context I wanted. That I again, people, we can look and say, yeah, players are being overworked, but why are they being overworked? The real cause of the issue is there's too many games. It's not again, like if you look at the beginning of the season, Hincapie comes in, he's already injured. He hadn't played a game. Calafiori joined us last season, had not even played one game for us, injured for like 8 weeks. Marino joined us last season. He joined us. Marino was injured for the first 6 weeks. It's like, it's not. Do I blame Real Sociedad for Marino's injury of him coming to join Arsenal? Like that's not. It
was Gabriel's fault.
It was Gabriel's fault in training. In training, he bumps into the player and the guy gets injured. So should they not train? Should they not, like, these are the things that I keep saying. Like, it's like the idea that, the real source of the issue is that we're overworking players. No, it's that there's just too many games. And it's by all these organizations. They changed the Champions League from the regular formats to now you've got to play 8 games and 8 of you have to play on top 8 and then you play extra 2 if you don't qualify. They've added more and more and more because it's about the money for them. At the end of the day, what this does is it drives your team and your players into the ground. And then you're forced to play the people that you have. They make you register a certain amount of players for Champions League. If those players are injured, the process of getting in a new player is actually ridiculous. I've read that, and I'm just like, it makes no sense, right? So,
but why wouldn't you answer the question on why rival teams, why their players are dropping like flies in the same proportion that our own players are dropping? That's the problem.
Let me answer that. One second, guys. Deo, let Curran answer because because
just real quick. The last 3 seasons, hold on. The last 3 seasons, we talked about how games have increased. The last 3 seasons, you've had Rodri out for majority of seasons. You had KDB come out of what season? I can start. Even Haaland that you're talking about was in and out for City in the last 2 seasons. Yes, injury. He had injuries. He was in and out of multiple games. Go look at it. If you want to talk about rival
not
teams,
much though, that's a stretch. That's a bit of a stretch.
If you want to talk about rival teams, Maddison has been out, Solanke has been out. Players are out left, right, and centers in every team. But we choose to focus on Arsenal and then just make it seem as though it's an Arsenal problem. It's not.
It's not an Arsenal problem. We know this by just look at Chelsea, for example. Chelsea
has mad injuries.
Chelsea have been destroyed by injuries. But Curran, you wanted to add on to this injury situation?
No, I mean, I wanted just to respond to, because I was listening to Tony, and you were saying before that people aren't listening; they just want to respond, right? You were saying that before, so I wanted to listen to what you had to say, and I wanted to make sure that I got what you were saying right. You mentioned, to start with, you mentioned about Haaland, about rival teams. We've got to stop treating players as if they're one player is have the same fitness level. Every player has the same fitness level. Okay, Gabriel has been, as you mentioned, I agree with you on some points. We have overworked a lot of these players. We haven't had the adequate depth. We didn't bring in Kivior in times where we could have rested Gabriel. There have been definitely issues, and I think we, as a community and as a footballing interest in general, with when we talk about football, we tend to want to find one answer. You are some of the stuff you say is right. Some of the stuff Edge is saying is right. Some of the stuff I'm saying, I'm probably something wrong about some things, but in terms of rotation, the very key point is that one player's injuries does not equate to another player's injuries. Okay, someone could have a propensity for a hamstring that they've torn in the past, or a knee injury they've had in the past. It's not the same as someone like Erling Haaland, who's younger, who's coming up. He's still going to have a lot more. He's had injury issues in the past, but he's still playing a lot of games. It's not the same. It's not one-to-one. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. The second thing is you mentioned in terms of why are other teams not getting injuries as the rate we are? And the one thing you got right is we haven't rotated much in terms of 2023, 23-24, and we got the injury-ridden season 24-25. I agree with you 100% there. We didn't rotate enough, and Mikel has to answer for those because we're receiving the consequence of that now. That's what's happened in the past, but we can't change what's happened in the past. What we can do is provide adequate depth. And you mentioned about Port Vale, about why was Gabriel there. The main thing with Gabriel being there, and whoever played, I can't even remember. I can't remember the exact things. But when Mikel brings players in, you've seen this in the past as well. He doesn't just drop them in. He wants them to get used to how we play. And if it means that we need a senior player in the back line to make sure that the actual line is correct, we have to play that, because we can't just throw people. Everyone talks about throwing away the cups, throwing away this, and then when you see players taking it seriously, oh, we're playing them too much. You can't have it both ways. I mean, I can understand that you want to protect the players. I want to protect the players, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure that we have an adequate squad to put out a performance that is enough for the standard of the Arsenal. That is the point. So there has to be a blend of seniority, bench players, youth players, whatever. You can't just have all youth players, all bench players, just put them in and just go. How are you going to win anything like that? So that is the other thing I was going to say. In terms of the actual, what you were talking about with Tottenham and Chelsea and other things, it's happening to everyone. As Edge was saying, it's happening with every team. The problem we have is that with us, it's going to...
I have to deep now, yeah. Big up to everyone, yeah. Big ups, yeah. Ødegaard, thanks for the opportunity. Souls, big up to you, man. And Curran, nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you too. But yeah, that's the main thing with how we're looking for in terms of other teams. You have to make sure that you're keeping the same energy for everyone, because you can't just laugh at other teams and then when it comes to us, you're criticizing them. It doesn't make this the same. The distinction isn't there. The consistency isn't there. So that is how we have to address this stuff. There is issues with the team. It's issues with Arteta, but it's not the only thing. It's not just FIFA. It's not just Arteta. It's not just the club. It's everything. How you want to look and how you want to prioritize which reason and which issue you want to address is up to you. For me, the primary issue is the amount of games. Secondary is the lack of rotation in previous years. And third, it's just the players themselves, their individual qualities, their individual medical history has to be taken into account. And when you have a player that has had hamstring surgery last year and then gets a thigh injury, I mean, we have to realize that these are. I can't even remember off the top of my head. Maybe I'm chatting shit. Maybe it's the different. Is it the other leg? I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to clarify that. But when I hear hamstring injury and then I hear thigh injury, I'm thinking, okay, maybe we have to manage that a bit better. and we have to make sure that that is something we take into account going forward. So those are the three main reasons for me that we are seeing this, and we shouldn't be #worried about any game because we have the players to deal with it. And we're in this period of the season now where players have been with the squad for multiple months now. The new players, if Gyökeres is available, if we're having to play a Eze, if we're playing even and Max as a sub, or Ethan in his new position, we have players that can, do things that can help us win these next couple of games. So it's not a case of being worried. It's just being apprehensive in terms of trying to make sure you understand the reasoning behind it and not just constantly losing your head. We're top of the league. We're second or third in the Champions League. I can't remember the exact. I think we're third.
But joint first is same
joint
point.
first, third, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So it's not clicking to the point where, like, say we draw and we're level on points by the Chelsea game. We're still top and we're getting players back. Is it really that big a deal? Like, we could have obviously gone and done something massive and really put something on in the league, but this league has been so unpredictable this year. To say like we have to manage the expectations. We're in December, when things are getting to a point where you can look back and be like, shit, we could have really done something, really put a name. Then we can look back and be angry. But now I don't know what's going to happen in 3 or 4 months. I don't know how we're going to be looking into the run-in. I don't know what we're doing in the Champions League. If you want to come back at me in April or May or wherever, or March, and say, look, we had a chance to really put something on this league, and you were saying you're doing excuses or whatever, fine. Who gives a shit? Like,
but right now you can only go by what we have.
Exactly.
What we have on paper right now is, I've seen a lot of changes from the Arsenal team itself this season than I've seen over the last 2 seasons. When you're talking about trusting young players as well, trusting players to play certain roles. So I think there's a bit of a difference. I've seen a manager who never used to make changes up until really quickly, just 10 seconds. A manager who never has changed players up until the 75th minute, changed players at 45 minutes this season a couple of times. I've seen him do that. So you know what? That gives me a little bit of hope that, he's willing to take certain risks. So let's hope he takes it in the right games.
Okay, so we got 3 big games coming up. How do we obviously be game by game? We'll see who's available for each game coming up. But right now, what do you guys think going into each game? Tottenham at home. We all expect to win, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Obviously, we all expect to win. Then we play Bayern at home. How you guys feeling about that game?
I mean, they have no Luis Diaz. We have our own injuries. We have. It's a tough game to predict because they are obviously on a great run themselves, but we should win that. We're at home. I do think we should win that, but it's not one where I'm like, we draw and I'm losing. I mean, even if we lost, I wouldn't give a shit.
You think even without the injuries, guys, we can come out of this spell of next 3 games unfazed?
I think
we obviously can.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Bayern and Arsenal have had similar trajectory this season in both leagues. They actually drew their last game as well, 2-2 for the first time. That's they literally, we've had similar. That's why I said similar, not this exact same thing, but similar trajectories. So they're coming off a draw as well from their league. We're coming off a draw from our league. Of course, their Champions League form is very, very good right now, just like ours is as well. So this would be a case of, we're at home. That's one advantage we have. Regardless of what it is, we have a system that looks solid. I mean, we have a system that has the best defense right now in all of Europe. If you look at the stats, it is what it is. You may not like the way we defend, but that's what the stats say. So for me, I think if we lean on what we're strong at and figure out a way to put 1 or 2 in the back of the net, we can.
Especially coming out of that second half of Sunderland.
Yeah.
The second half of Sunderland, when you saw an ability to come out and really attack a team, that was very encouraging. And this is obviously still with Marino, still with the same players that we had before the international break. We didn't like, if you want to do the whole media narratives thing, 2 open play goals. Oh my God, it was open play. The point is that we went into that second half and really attacked well. We went to a tough ground and we turned over that lead. Obviously, the disappointment of drawing that game is pretty big, but the things that we did in that second half, the ability to pin guys inside the box, really take our fullbacks and put them inside the box into positions where they can get shots off, have Trossard and Saka come inside, bit more central, really get those shots off outside the box. Obviously, the Trossard goal outside the box, Saka getting that 1v1 that he missed. Like there were opportunities that we created that I haven't seen us create in a long time. Like not in 24-25, maybe back to 23-24. So when you give me that, I can say, look, we should be able to do that kind of performance. If we can do that for 90 minutes, we should be able to get results. So they've given me some hope, but the problem is that I don't know how long we can go if we go back to the old way and we start shithousing it. I don't know if that will work for 3 more games until the guys come back. So
when you say go back to the old ways, what old ways are you talking about?
I'm talking about like in 24-25, and we haven't the Spurs game, the Spurs game away, the City game away, where we just had to really.
I mean, but if you look at the first 11 games of this season, this team looks nothing like the 20.
Nothing like that. No, I completely agree.
This team, this particular, and it's not even just the team; it's the system and the mentality. You can see it in them. I'm not saying that they've matured, they've grown.
Oh, for sure. I'm not saying that we will go back, but my thing is if we do have to, because of the lack of attacking talent, if we do have to go back and do something like that,
I would hope that after realizing from last season that some of those things didn't work, you don't go back to your vomit.
Yeah,
I'd hope that over the preseason you've worked out new methods of trying to attempt to do something, because doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is insanity to me. So I'd expect the manager should have looked at it and said, well, these are all the things that didn't work last season. There's no point in trying it again next season, right? Next season, it's about making sure that we come with our own philosophy and hope that, it's strong enough to carry us through games. And if there needs to be a change, we can actually tweak in game and see what we need to do to actually get the 3 points. So I've seen a different Arsenal this season.
For sure, and I was saying Newcastle game, about the Sunderland game as well. Even the Sunderland game showed us a different side of this team that we didn't see.
The United game, the first game of the season, the United game, not conceding as badly as we played, not conceding a goal in that game. That was the first game that I looked at and I said, you know what, United should have beat us like 2.
Guys, let me hear from Souls quick before we go.
What's the question?
The next 3 games, how you feeling?
Yeah, man, I'm always positive, man. I think we can beat anyone, and I think we can give a good account of ourselves against anyone, even Bayern Munich with the injuries or not. I'm not really that concerned. I think we've built a formidable squad, and I think we've got the depth, arguably one of the best squads in Europe. And I'm not saying we've got the best, but we've got arguably one of the best squads in Europe. So for me, bring on Bayern, bring on Spurs, bring on Chelsea, bring on the whole league. I'm not really that fussed anymore, because I believe in the lads. I believe we've got the mentality. I believe we've got the tactics sorted out. And I actually think Arteta's smartened up as well. I think he's kind of figured out what works, what doesn't work. He no longer over-engineers solutions. He doesn't necessarily do something that kind of makes you go, what the hell is he thinking this time? Like, well, what is he planning to do here? He has kept things a little bit more simple. Like, Gyökeres has been injured. He hasn't gone and revamped the entire system. He's just gone, you know what, Mikel Moreno's worked before, let's just put him up there, rather than trying to engineer the solution that makes him look better than he is. And, I think he is learning from his sort of mistakes and past mistakes, because even in game, he's starting to make the right moves at the right time. He doesn't go conservative too early. He doesn't go into a back 5 when he doesn't need to. Like, there is a lot of positives that we can take from his evolution as well with this squad coming in. And I believe now he has a squad he completely believes in. It's not a case of like there's certain players where you're hoping that they play, but because he doesn't trust them, he's not playing them. So bring it on, man. I'm excited. This is the first season where I'm not even delusionally saying it or copium saying it. I'm genuinely excited. I want to see what that squad on Sunday looks like. I don't care if it's Hincapie. I'm not even going to lose my head, because whoever he decides to replace Gabriel with, I'm more than excited to watch. Whether it's Hincapie playing there, whether it's Calafiore coming in, whether it is Mosquera that comes in, regardless, they all excite me. So bring it on.
Fairs.
You gotta remember last season against Madrid, we didn't have a striker. and everybody said Madrid was going to come and walk us away. And you know what? We figured out a way to win those 2 games, both home and away. So
it tends to be when everyone is counting us out, we find a way. And it tends to be when everyone's saying we're guaranteed going to do something, people feel overconfident. That's when we end up slipping up. Right now, I like the adversity. It's coming off an international break. People are trying to make it all doom and gloom. It's not the end of the world. We're going to get over it. By the time our players come back fit and available for the second half of the season, Curran could be right. We could have a better advantage because some of these players might be more fit and might be more ready to hit the second half of the season a lot better. And then you know what? From there, we just need to focus on trying to find a better way to rotate throughout the rest of the season so we don't get reoccurring injuries throughout the whole squad like we did the year before. It's still early in the season. I'm not too concerned. We still have a lead. The main thing is if we can weather the storm for the next 3 games, after that, the fixtures get a little bit easier with Brentford, Aston Villa, and everybody else. It's not the same level of difficulty. It's never easy. Nothing's easy, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's 3 games. We can't go and hopefully we don't go and drop 6 points or something.
Even if it's 4 or 5 games, I just believe strongly.
Me, I honestly don't think the Champions League game is as much jeopardy as people make it seem. It's just
This is where you then begin to weigh the options as a manager. Like, okay, I'm already going to qualify for top 8 in the Champions League anyways, right?
Yeah, but you do want to be as high as possible.
I know. I'm saying, like, so do I play a team that is?
I gotta go. So
right,
I'm gonna have to wrap it up. But final statement, everybody. What are you saying, Deo? What's your final statement?
I mean, final statement. It is what it is. This next few games, I think we will win our games. I think we will get our points, and we'll just keep it where it's at. I expect the manager to be a lot more with someone like Andrea Berta, who has a lot of experience coming in, and not like an Edu who was learning on the job with Mikel Arteta. I think Andrea Berta will give certain types of advice to him and say, listen, this Champions League game, maybe I'd suggest you do this, this, and this. If you take it on board, it's good to have people like that around you. So I think, that's where you can see some of his maturity coming up. So yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not bothered. But 4 points ahead in the Premier League. This is not 22-23 where we were 8 points ahead, and City had 2 games in hand by game week 30, and by game week 35 still had 1 game in hand. So for me, technically, we were just 2 points ahead in 22-23. For me, technically, I know people like to talk about it as 8 points. I saw it as 2 points because they had 2 games in hand. But this season, same number of games, no reason to panic. 4 points ahead. We'll see if they can catch up with 4 points. It's the fine margins that matter.
What are you saying, Curran?
It is what it is. Is fairly good thing to say. The thing is, right, if there's nothing really to worry about right now, so and I'm going to maintain that there's nothing. We're top of the table by 4 points. We've got a league that is incredibly unpredictable, and we've got players coming back. I'm not like sitting here being arrogant. I'm not sitting here being overconfident. I'm just saying here, look, we're in a good position, and we've got players coming back. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we're winning everything. I'm not saying that we're going to do crazy historic things. All I'm saying is right now, there is no need for anything but it is where it is. Because that's all you can say at the moment. There's nothing really else to say.
Souls?
Listen, lads, we're winning the league. Let's go win a Champions League whilst we're at it. We'll take it 1 game at a time. We enjoy the ride. We enjoy the moments. We enjoy the journey. It's taken us this long to get to a place where we actually feel really confident in our squad. Look, if you're asking me this last season, I would be panicking. I would be throwing my chair around. I'd be pissed. I'd be so nervous about this game. But this season, man, we've got the players. We've got the depth. We've got players coming back. Don't forget, we still have Kai Havertz to play. We still haven't seen Kai Havertz. We've not seen the king return. Arguably one of the best players right now. I don't even care, Corin. You can shake your head. That guy is a baller, right? And we're yet to see him play for the Arsenal this season. So, look, we've got nothing to worry about. We've got Arteta at the helm. We've got Berta running the show behind the scenes. We'll get Semenyo in January if we have to, and we'll just keep the show going. We take it 1 game at a time. We don't overload that, we just keep it going, man. We've got Spurs on the weekend. Let's get them out the way. Let's get the 3 points. Let's go batter them. Let's go make a statement. Why not, just for the fun of it?
Fairs. We're gonna wrap it up here. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Why can't you make a crew? Give a panel a name. Fantastic Four. I like this panel. Very balanced. Definitely have you guys on more often. You know, the thing is, I don't like to do too many of these panel shows because I feel like it just turns into
a shouting.
It just turns into a thing where there's nothing really to talk about when everything is going well.
That's why, Gal, for me, it worries me when I watch content and everybody's trying to gin up something that is not there, right? Like just gin up something like, oh, Mikel Arteta, it's his fault that Gabriel. I'm like, no. Like for me, I look at every squad and I'm like, Tottenham has 11 injuries. 11 in Tottenham. If we had 11 injuries right now, we would be shitting ourselves as well.
Let me ask you guys this: how often do I call you guys to have a conversation about what starting lineup are we going to play, starting 11 are we going to play versus this team? Because we're on 7 wins in a row. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. We're 7 wins in a row. There's no need for us to gather and have a conversation and gloat about 7 wins in a row.
I mean, even if you don't gloat about it, we can talk about the things that we see that were consistent in that 7 wins. What was it that Arsenal was doing in those 7 wins consistently that kept us actually winning?
You know what? We'll talk about this after the stream.
And those are the things that excite me, girl. Those things that, like, I look at the data, I'm just like, okay, in this game, you see how Calafiori is a madman as far as I'm concerned. I've not been able to figure him out. I played all his shots. I watched all his footage, and I'm like, this guy is insane. I still don't know what role he plays. He's not a left back. We're going to figure this out eventually, that he's a striker.
The guy to play striker.
That's what we're going to find out.
I'm telling you, man, we need a Calafiori striker.
Anyways, we're going to wrap it up here. We've gone on for too long. Big up to everyone who's been watching. Really do appreciate. Love for the love. Curran, Souls, of course, Tony who jumped in, and Dayo. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. And big up to all the people in the chat. Love.